Hello everybody and welcome to the vlog. It's been so long since I filmed the vlog. I think it's been more than half a year at this point, and I just really wanted to get back into filming vlogs. The problem is that I just didn't really feel like I liked them anymore, which was a huge issue for me because why I'm posting on this channel and why I'm like sharing what I'm reading with you guys is because I really enjoy the process of it. Like I'm not gaining anything out of this. It's just like a hobby that I want to continue to pursue. And it definitely took some time to kind of like regroup and figure out what I want to do with this channel. The monthly reading wrap ups are not going anywhere anytime soon. I definitely do have to think about what I want to do with the other videos on the channel because I'm sure you've seen that I didn't post that often in the last couple of months. And I was thinking that, you know what, vlogs used to be really fun in the beginning and I want to bring them back. Specifically with the last vlogs here on the channel, I felt like like I was putting some unnecessary pressure on myself. And I'm the type of person, like if I'm doing something, I'm giving it my all. I'm giving like 110% of like my energy and I want it to be good and successful. And I just felt like I had to like either finish reading a book in a vlog or just like complete a task for it to be enjoyable for you. And in the last couple of months, I realized that, you know what, I'm just gonna do vlogs because I like doing them. And even if I'm not like finishing something in a vlog, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm just still gonna, try to be as creative as I can be. And we'll see where it goes. So, yeah, this is that vlog. Hopefully, it goes well. I'm gonna read, I'm gonna make coffee, and we'll see where it goes from there. Speaking of reading, I wanted to share with you what I am currently reading. So in May, this is, by the way, like the last week of May when I'm starting this vlog. We'll see when I will finish it. But the last thing that I read or reread, I should say, is the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare. I finished Queen of Air and Darkness maybe like 5 6 days ago, something like that. And I am just like so happy that I took my time with this series to reread it, because the first time around when I read it, I was just like so curious to see where the plot is going to go that I just didn't really care for the characters that much, which was a shame because this is like a very character focused or like character driven, I should say, trilogy. And this time around, when I reread it, I already knew everything that was going to happen. So I just really focused on understanding the characters and their motivations. And it was a blast. After that, I took a couple of days of like break in which I didn't really read anything. I was obviously like working at my day job, and I also tried to finish some crochet projects that I was in the middle of. I did some more book sleeves and book pouches. I posted them on Vinted. Some of them were already sold, and actually, I think I have like one more or two more that I didn't sell yet. So this pumpkin one, I don't know if you're able to see in this angle, which is kind of weird. But yeah, this pumpkin one, I posted it on Vinted. It's like not new. I think I did this last fall. And then the one that I finished this week is this lavender one with the sun and moon pattern. And yeah, I'm waiting to see if someone will buy them so that I can make more. I started reading a very highly anticipated read for me for this year. I am almost like done with this. I think I will be able to finish it today, but I'm not sure yet. This is Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. It's just like these weird sprayed edges that I really don't like. And they just look messy on the top and bottom. Like I don't know what's happening with this specific edition, but I'm not like a huge fan of that. I just didn't really find any other edition with just like regular edges, and I really wanted to read this book, so I got this. This is so good thus far. I talked about this book in like my highly anticipated releases for 2026. And I, for some reason, thought that this is fantasy. It's not. It's obviously dystopian with like sci-fi elements, and I'm not like a huge fan of sci-fi, but I love dystopian books. And so I was really confused for the first couple of chapters because I wasn't really sure like what's happening and why are we having these talks about like space and all of these things that I wasn't really sure on. And then I was like, oh, wait, this is sci fi, it's not fantasy. So that was my bad. But Sig the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. So this basically follows two sides of this world that we are in. On the one side, we have the Talusar people who are very powerful, and they are all dedicated to this god called Fever, or like the Fever, something like that. And this god, what he's doing, it's basically like a virus that spreads for the population of the Talusar, and it just kills them. But then, for the people that are strong enough, it brings them back to life basically, and they gain like some powers or something like that. It's kind of weird what's happening. There's also some plot points involving potentially some aliens or like some civilization that's not really from Earth. I don't know. It was kind of weird. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But um, yeah, the Talusar are very powerful. So they are all venerating the Fever, and they pretty much have control of the entirety of the planet. Now, there's also this opposing population. I think it starts with C, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna do my best to try to pronounce it. It's the say something C, the Cedra people population, whatever. So the Cedra are opposing the Talasar, and they are very small and underpowered. The Cedra people, and at the beginning of the book, we find out that the Cedra people are basically guarding themselves against the Talusar and against the god of fever, because they don't want to be infected with this disease that's basically like killing people and just like bringing them back to life, right? At the beginning of the book, we find out about a prophecy, obviously. So the Talsar people, because they have all of these like abilities and special powers, some of them, actually most of them, I think, can see the past, like what's already happened in the past. But then some very few of them, of the Talusar people, can predict the future or like see the future. And there are only 10 of these Talusar people that can see the future. They're called the augurs. And these augurs have a very important prophecy to communicate to two chosen people. One of them is Cedra, and the other one is Talusar. And our main character, like one of our main character, is Elegy, who is part of the Cedra people, and she is the second daughter of the Sword of Cedra. And then on the other side, we have Rava Vidar, who is the daughter of like a very important high placed family from the Talusar side of things. And so they are told that the augurs don't really see which one of them is going to be successful, but one of them are going to win this war between their two peoples, and one of them is going to bring victory for their people, but the other one is going to be defeated. So we don't really know which one is going to be victorious, and we also don't really know how they're going to achieve these things. So yeah, there were definitely some elements in this where I kind of like rolled my eyes, specifically in the beginning with what was happening with like some other characters that were kind of like at the forefront of the story for the very first couple of chapters, and that I was like, wait, I'm sure that this specific thing is going to happen with them, and that happened very early on. So yeah, it was a bit predictable, but I love the way that this is written. I love how the world is built, and I also really like the supporting cast of characters. I think they're really well done. There's this very, very faint underlying romantic subplot that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I was sure that that is going to happen, but I just didn't really see it, and I just don't understand why they should be together. But anyway, I'm sure we will get more of them and of their feelings, let's say, in the next book, because I think I saw somewhere online that this is only going to be a duology. So um I would be very happy about that if we can just like include everything in the next book. But yeah, I'm liking this so far. As I was saying, I still have like 130-ish pages of this. I'm currently on chapter 38 at page 266, and I plan to read a good chunk of this today, and hopefully I can finish it. But if not, tomorrow is a day as well. So yeah, this is what I'm currently reading, and something that I want to start reading soon. So yesterday I went to the bookstore, and I actually didn't know that this book came out. I guess I'm kind of behind my book news, let's say, but I got the new book from Olivie Blake. I don't know anything about it. I just saw some posts online about it, and it's obviously Olivie Blake, so I had to have it. This is Clara and the Devil by Olivie Blake in collaboration with Little Kimura, I think it's how you pronounce their name. But yeah, this is like a graphic novel written by Olivie Blake, and it is fully illustrated by Little Kimura. Also, the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, I cannot wait to start this graphic novel in the upcoming days. So yeah, that's what's happening currently. I do want to eat something because I'm starving, and potentially have another cup of coffee and then to continue with Sig the Traitor's Son. I do also want to continue my Pokopia playthrough because I stopped for like a couple of weeks now. I'm pretty sure the last thing that I did in that game was to just unlock the first Pokemon Center, and I just didn't log back in to check in on everyone on the island. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I will see you in the next clip. So see you in a bit.
So beautiful, the world is
You guys, I am so dumb. So I just exported the footage that I filmed this morning while making coffee. And I filmed it with my DJI camera, which is the one that I'm using right now to film this clip, but I guess you can't see it. It is this one right here. And so I was using this camera, but I forgot that I changed the color profile setting from the normal one that I was using earlier to D-Log M, because earlier this year Fujifilm announced that they are making lots out of their film simulations. And the film simulations, I just love them. Like, I'm always using the film simulations on my Fujifilm cameras. I use them for photos, for videos. They're great. They just have that very nostalgic feeling vibe to them, and I love using them on my Fujifilm cameras. And so I wanted to test those lots to see if they would work with the footage that I'm getting out of this DJI Pocket 3 camera. I never did that apparently, and I also forgot that I changed that particular setting in this camera. And when I was looking at the footage on my Mac, I was like, this is not great. And I was actually just like considering giving up and just like throwing it away and replacing it with something else in this vlog. But then I was like, let me at least try to see if I can save it. And it took me an hour and a half and like a lot of YouTube videos, but I think I finally figured it out. And it's like I still have to tweak it a little bit in terms of like exposure and stuff like that, but it looks okay, which is amazing news for me personally. I love this camera for its form factor, I guess, but the colors from it were never like 100% to my liking. I love the Fujifilm colors. I love the colors that I was getting out of my Sony ZV-1F at the beginning of this channel. And the colors from this DJI were never like hitting that spot for me. But if I can make them look a bit more similar to the Fujifilm camera, I'm stoked about that. Yeah, I just wanted to update you with what I did this afternoon, because as I said, it took some time, but I'm really happy that I figured out how to do this. I already saved the power grade on my editing software, and I will continue to test it out to see if I can use it to all of the clips that I'm filming with this camera. But yeah, let's get back to the vlog now. I am so happy that I finally have some time to get back into Pokopia. It's so funny how I got obsessed with this game, because when it was first announced, I saw the initial trailer and I didn't really know what this game was. Like, I didn't really fully comprehend exactly what's the idea behind it, and I was sure that I will not buy it, also because it's like crazy expensive. The price of these games nowadays is just like absolutely crazy. But yeah, I promised myself that I will not buy it, and lo and behold, the game was fully launched. I saw some reviews, I saw how much fun it seemed to be, and also it's just like very reminiscent of Animal Crossing, and I love Animal Crossing so much. But yeah, I caved in and I bought Pokopia, and I played on and off for some days. I just kind of like finished the first area, like the first big quest of the game with the first Pokemon Center and stuff like that. And as you could see just now, I'm also very excited because I finally was able to open this gate that I think will lead me to a new area in the game. And I'm pretty sure that all of the areas have their own Pokemon Center, and you're supposed to like create habitats for the Pokemon and just make them as comfortable as possible, and help them reinstate the Pokemon Centers. Something else that I love about this game thus far, even though as I said I don't have like a lot of hours into it, but something that you can notice right away is the personality of all of the Pokemons. They are all so unique and fun to talk. Like, I love talking with Bulbasaur and all of the other Pokemon on this first area that I kind of finished. Also, I think Drifloon, like, I don't know, it was my first kind of like interaction with Drifloon after I built his habitat. It was our first conversation, and he basically dropped the lore that he likes humans, but he likes kids more. So, yeah, Pokopia, a lot of fun. But yeah, after I played Pokopia, I went back to reading and to continue my journey with Seek the Traitor's Son.
We were sparks on quiet streets, two hearts finding where to meet. But life pulled us apart, left me talking to the dark. If I called you tonight, would it feel the same? Or have we both moved on to different names? Take me back to the start, before the quiet and the scars. When the world felt small and your hands felt warm. Take me back to the start, if only for a moment. I've been up since 3, scrolling back where we used to be. Half truths in this late night chat, both of us knowing what it like that. Funny how we talk like we're fine, but your name still lives in my rhyme. Take me back to the start.
So it is the next day, and I just finished Seek the Traitor's Son a couple of minutes ago, actually, and I wanted to give you my last kind of like final update with this book so that I can move to something else as well in this video. So the ending of this book was exactly what I wanted it to be, because especially like in the last, I would say, 50 pages or so, we really understand what our main character is going to do. Like, the clues were all set for us to find. And when she finally takes that step in the last 40 or so pages, I was just like so excited for the ending. Like, even though I could see it like from a mile away, I was still so excited to happen. And when she finally took that pivotal step towards the specific ending that I envisioned, I just knew, like, oh my God, this is actually how this book is going to end. And it's obviously ending on like a major cliffhanger. But when I was reading the acknowledgements after reading the last chapter, Veronica Roth actually confirmed that this is a duology. So we will only have one other book in this world. And given the fact that this was released like a couple of weeks ago as of the filming of this video, I would imagine that the next book is going to come out sometime in 2027, even though we didn't have like an official confirmation on that. But yeah, the ending was really, really good. And I'm just glad that we went that route, because I think it just opens up the possibilities of this specific main character so much more. I loved the world building. I just really, really liked this austere kind of like environment that we have in the Cedra, I think it's called, part of this world. And also the fact that the Talusar, which are kind of like Cedra's enemy, they are so mysterious, yet we have access to them, if that makes sense. Like, We know certain things about them, but then in the same time we don't really. So I really like that aspect of like mystery throughout this book. There's also like a subplot of romantic or like romantasy, I should say. Even though this is not really a fantasy, it's more so like dystopian sci-fi kind of a thing. The romantic subplot was not necessarily my favorite, but I don't really gravitate towards that sort of thing. So I just don't think I can speak to the whole extent on that. But yeah, this was really enjoyable. Not perfect, because there were definitely some predictable things in the beginning that I was like a bit underwhelmed by. But overall, really, really good. The ending, especially, loved it. Yes, it was the most logical thing that could have happened, but in the same time, I wanted it to happen because as I was saying earlier, this opens up the world and the possibilities of the characters so much more, and I'm sure we will explore those things in the second book of this duology. So, yeah, this is Seek the Traitor's Son. Also, while reading this book, I posted a story on Instagram with the actual book, and someone messaged me asking me, or like, we were talking about Veronica Roth's books in general, and she asked me if I read Divergent. And I never did. I think, or I'm pretty sure I saw the movie when that came out, like the first movie, but I never read the books, the series Divergent. And so because the only books that I read from this author are obviously this one and When Among Crows and To Clutch a Razor, which are like shorter and they're kind of like urban fantasy inspired by Polish folklore. And I really, really like those and this one as well. I think I will read the Divergent series sometime soon-ish, I hope. But I'm really excited to read that series because, as I said, like I'm pretty sure I saw the movie, but I don't really remember anything from it other than the fact that it was like dystopian and it was like all the rage in the early 2010s. But yeah, I hope I will get to do that sometime soon. I really want to start this book that I bought recently called Wreck by Catherine Newman, and it also has like a gorgeous cover. I like it a lot, the way that it's sort of a painting in a way. It is really, really cool. And then also on the back of it, it has some painted items as well. It looks really, really fun. And so let me read you what this is about. It says, Rocky, Nick, Willa, and Jamie, a normal, loving, anxious, messy, unpredictable, relatable family. Rocky has her own way of processing disasters. 1. This could happen to us. 2. This couldn't happen to us. And then there's a secret third column. This could happen to us unless I am very careful, superstitious, or grateful. When a former classmate of Jamie's dies in a seemingly random accident, Rocky becomes obsessed. She's also developed a niggling medical condition that won't go away. On the surface, she is still living her best life as the irreverent, funny, unpredictable beating heart of her family. Her father is his unique, adorable self. Willa is prone to bouts of existential angst while berating the fact that her mother has zero filter. Nick is steady, logical, sometimes infuriating. But if accidents can happen, and they do, is it safe to love anyone? That sounds a bit triggering for me personally, not gonna lie, but yeah, let's see how it goes. It is a new day. My brain is like so rotten from all the drag race that I watched throughout the years because my mind immediately went to it's a new day in the workroom. But anyway, so it is a new day. I also have the day off of work today because I had like a doctor's appointment in the morning, and then I also have another one at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and so I didn't want to run back and forth, so I just preferred to take the day off like completely. But I'm happy that I did that because after my first doctor's appointment, which was fine, like I was stressing for nothing. I had to do an ultrasound, and because it's the first time I'm doing one, like I never had to to do that before. I was just like so nervous and stressed, but it was just like so easy and so fast, and I was like done in 10 minutes. But yeah, so I did that in the morning, and then immediately afterwards, I went to the coffee shop to get a well-deserved cup of coffee because I couldn't like drink anything in the morning before my appointment. But I went to grab a cup of coffee and also a slice of carrot cake, and also I started reading Clara and the Devil, as you could see. I almost wanted to say Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro, which is also very, very good. I read that like a long time ago, but I would recommend it if you're like into sci-fi dystopian kind of stuff. Kazuo Ishiguro does that like really, really well. After coffee, I went to the bookstore that I used to go to like a lot when I was in university. I love this bookstore so much because you have like a lot of space to just like sit and read and relax and just like kind of regroup. Yeah, so I went to this particular bookstore because I wanted to finish Clara and the Devil, and I just wanted to chill for a bit. I was also looking at the books. I saw Cleopatra by Sara El-Arifi that I didn't read yet, but I have an arc of. Also, Wolf Form by T. Kingfisher, which is one of my favorites from this author. I love this book so much. Also, I spotted Sig the Traitor's Son, which is the book I started this vlog with, and here I was taking some photos for IG, so say cheese. And yeah, I continued and also finished Clara and the Devil. You know what? I don't really know what I think about this. I love the artwork, I love the illustrations, the panels, like it's so cleverly done. But the actual story itself, like I understand what Olivie Blake was trying to do, but it was like a little bit too vague for my liking, and so I don't know. It was fine, but it was not great, which is something that I expect from Olivia Blake. So, yeah, it was a good time. So after I finished Clara and the Devil, I went to my second appointment, and then I went to grab lunch because I was starving at this point. Like it was almost 2 in the afternoon or something like that, and I didn't eat anything all day other than that carrot cake in the morning. But yeah, I chose to go with this poke bowl, which was absolutely delicious. And also I started reading the book that I was talking to you about earlier in this vlog, which is Wreck by Newman. I don't have an opinion just yet because I didn't read that much from it, just like a couple of pages, and then I kind of like went back to my lunch. Hello, friends. It's been, I think, 2 days since I filmed the last clip. In the meantime, I finished this book, Wreck. And so I wanted to update you with my thoughts about this book and also to finish this vlog. This book was absolutely amazing. I loved it and I gave it 5 stars. It was just everything I needed at this specific moment in my life. And I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because this book reached me at the perfect moment. This book was so raw and profound and emotional at times, but without it being cringy or cheesy or anything like that. It is also infused with a lot of humor. There are certain moments in this book when you don't really have anything left other than to just laugh in front of these things that are thrown at us in our day-to-day lives. And so I appreciated this book a lot for that specific thing. It also poses the question of what is ethical to do in certain situations, and also what's moral and what's not moral, and where do you find that fine line in life. And even though it doesn't really give any answers to that, I think it is a discussion that is very well done and very well portrayed in this book. Rec follows our main character Rachel, but everyone calls her Rocky. Rocky is 55. She is married to her husband Nick, and together they have two kids. Well, they're actually adults at this point, but they have two kids. Willa, who is staying with her parents because I think she's either working in their town or researching something in their town, something like that. And then they also have Jamie, who is currently living in New York with his wife Maya. At the beginning of the book, our main character Rocky finds out that this guy that Jamie used to be in high school with, I believe, his name is Miles. He unfortunately was involved in a car accident and he didn't make it. But what's very strange and weird about the situation is that Miles's car was hit by the train that was going through their town at that specific moment. But what's weirder is that the protections that are usually put in place when a railroad is just like intersecting a road, you know, the barriers and the alarms when the train comes and stuff like that, none of those worked. So that's pretty much why this accident happened, and the railroad is basically investigated because they didn't do their security checks correctly or something like that. And this story is just like so tragic, and basically everyone from this neighborhood is just like very sad that this thing happened to Miles and to his family, and it's just a difficult time for all of them. This event also affects Rocky, and again, at the beginning of the book, Rocky develops this skin rash that is very small and contained at the beginning, but the more time we spend with Rocky, this rash basically extends to her whole body. She goes to see the dermatologist. He prescribes her like all of these investigations that she needs to do, and we kind of spend more time with her as she is just overthinking everything and panicking. And she's also a hypochondriac, and so she just researches everything. She searches Google for all of the symptoms that she has, and she's obviously worried for her health. And we spend the entirety of the book basically from her point of view, in her mind. And as a reader, it just becomes so obvious how exhausting it is to be Rocky and to just have all of these thoughts. This is why I did really appreciate this book, is that I think it portrays this feeling of kind of feeling suffocated by your own thoughts very, very well. It is mentioned at a specific point in the book that she has anxiety, and also Willa kind of like inherited this anxiety from her mom. They're both medicated for anxiety, and yeah, I think this feeling was portrayed very, very, very well in this book. Also, the overthinking, the hypochondriac, just like nature of our character was, in my opinion at least, done very, very well. I've also been struggling with a lot of these things, like overthinking everything and worrying about your health, and you reach a point where you just feel, as I was saying, suffocated, and you don't know what to do. And even though you manage to work through it, it just comes back at times when it's just the worst. Also, while updating Goodreads, I saw that this is part of a series, or at least they're all kind of like interconnected standalones because they follow roughly the same characters and they're set in the same world. And this is the second book from that series. The first one is called Sandwich, and I would be very interested to read that one as well after my amazing, amazing experience with this one with Rec. And with that, this is the end of, I don't know what I'm doing with this end, but yeah, this is the end of today's vlog. I had a lot of fun just like filming it and putting everything together. So not making any promises, but I do think and I do hope that more videos will come out soon here on the channel. Also, do let me know in the comments down below, what would you like to see more of here on the channel? Is it vlogs? Is it reading wrap-ups? Is it any sort of like specific book video that you would like to see? I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much once again, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye everyone.